went to bleeding races, 'twas on the 9th of June 1862 on a summer's afternoon. I took the bus to Banbury's and she was heavy laden. Away we went along Collingwood Street, that's on the road to Bleeding.
You're watching TOON TV. Welcome to the channel. This is the Newcastle United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers match preview for the game on Saturday evening at St James's Park. Kick-off 8 p.m. in the Premier League. Just before I continue on with the match preview, if you're new around here and you're enjoying the content, if I could ask you kindly to please drop me a subscription. It's free of charge. I'm trying to get to 3,700 subscribers, less than 65 away now. So if you can help us out, I'd really appreciate it. Whilst you're at it, please hit the like button, turn on that notification bell so you never miss a video from myself. Please share the content out with your friends and your family. And if you're an existing subscriber, welcome back. And please hit that thumbs up. The more likes we get, the better. Put your comments down below. Let me know your predicted starting 11s and your score predictions. So the TOON are at home to Wolverhampton Wanderers. For me, this is a massive game. I'm going to sound like a broken record between now and the rest of the season. Newcastle United Football Club are in deep, deep trouble. We are in a serious relegation battle. Mike Ashley, Lee Charnley need to wake up, smell the coffee, and look at the situation that we find ourselves in. Steve Bruce is the big problem and will always be the big problem. He is not a Premier League manager. I said that from the very get-go when he was appointed back in 2019 that he will take us down in the long run. And look at what is happening. We are only 3 points above Fulham, who occupy 18th place. If you remember, we had that 10-point gap and everyone was like, oh, we're going to be fine, we're going to be safe. Well, not so now. We need to be picking up 3 points. We need to put a run of games together where we are pulling away from that relegation zone. We've got 4 very, very important games. They're must-win for me. Anything less is a real disaster. If we do not pick up any points in the month of March, then I do worry for our Premier League status. Our Premier League status is hanging by a thread and we need to do something about it. I've said it all along, Steve Bruce is not good enough to manage Newcastle United. He should have gone months ago. Is it too late to make change? No, it's not. If we lose to Wolves and West Brom, then that leaves us with 11 games, 33 points to pick up. We've done it before when Steve McLaren was the manager, but it was a little bit too late with Rafa Benitez. If he was given a bit more time, then we could have stayed in the Premier League. But I feel like this time around, it's a lot tighter. There's 4 clubs for me battling to stay in the Premier League, and they are Fulham, Newcastle, Brighton and Burnley. And with the fixtures for the other 3 clubs, it's not looking great. We've got a big chance now to really pull away from the relegation zone. Do I believe Steve Bruce is the right man to do it? No, I don't. It should be a new manager. But in the meantime, we've got to stick with Steve Bruce. He's got to get it right on Saturday. He's got to drop players, when they're not playing well. And I believe now we've got to take the games seriously. No more excuses. We've just got to go for it. Anything less, as I said before, it's not acceptable. It's not good enough. And if you look at the Premier League table, the writing's been on the wall for months. Fulham have been playing the better football and they deserve to be 3 points behind us. And in certain games where they've drawn them, they could have easily been ahead of us. And that is the reality of the weekend. If we lose against Wolves and Fulham beat Crystal Palace, they are going to go ahead of us on goal difference. And nobody can tell me that that's not been coming. It has been. And we've been poor for ages. So something has to give on the weekend. We're very capable of beating Wolverhampton Wanderers. And if there's any Wolves fans watching, I don't think you've had the best season. But you play good stuff. But you've been rocked by injuries, and that's where we can take advantage, of your situation. And we're at St James's Park. It's where bread and butter. We need to be winning games at home. In terms of how I feel like we're going to go about the game, we need to leave nothing unturned. We just have to go out there, give a 10 out of 10 performance, not just play for 45 minutes, not just play for an hour. We need to play for a full 90 minutes because that was our problem against Manchester United. We played well in the first half. We got an equaliser, but we didn't kick on, and we allowed Manchester United to take full control of the game in the second half and really get at it. And that's why we conceded 2 sloppy goals in that second half, which could have been prevented. We haven't won in our last 2 games, but not just that. If you look at how we've performed over, is it 16 games? We've only won 2. That's shocking. And if you look at that record, for me, that's a sackable offence, and I just don't understand why Steve Bruce has not been sacked. And the reason why that's not happened, because Mike Ashley sees the club as a business. He sees Steve Bruce as the cheap option. And I do fear for us, if we go down with Steve Bruce, that he could be the manager in the Championship. I don't want that to happen. I feel like we need a better manager who's going to take the club forward. But we know that with Mike Ashley being the owner, we're never going to go forward. It'll be 1 step forward and it'll be 50 steps back. It's always been the case in his ownership. In terms of Wolves and their run of form, well, they've been okay in their last 2 games. They've won the last 2 against Leeds and I believe it was Southampton. So they're doing okay. They're currently mid-table. They were in a bit of a pickle a few months back, but now I feel like they're getting it together. A couple of wins for them and they'll be safe. No question about that. And yeah, like I mentioned before, they do play some good stuff and they've got some good players that can really turn it on, and we're going to have to be on with game because Wolves will not be a pushover. And we've come unstuck against Wolves a few times since we've been back in the Premier League, since they've been back, and they will not feel sorry for us. We just need to play our game. I look at Wolves as a side, they've got some quality players such as Ruben Neves and João Moutinho, 2 players who have got plenty of experience at Premier League level, can get out of defence, they can create problems. Not only that, they can score goals, something that the TOON lack, something that we don't seem to do. And they've also got plenty of added pressure at the right end of the pitch, and that is Pedro Neto, who for me likes to cut in, he likes to score goals. They've got Adama Traore, who's going to be the main threat for them, who has got the pace to burn. So whoever's marking him needs to be on their game. If he gets any service, if he gets plenty of space like he did against Leeds, he's very capable of scoring very good goals, and we could come unstuck. So we need to be careful of that. Steve Bruce needs to get it right defensively, otherwise we're in big trouble. We can't afford to be too open. Steve Bruce lately has been playing this diamond, which yes, I like to see it, but in terms of how open we've been at the back, it's been a real concern. It's something that we might have to change. I've always said go 4-2-3-1, play it safe, and that's going to be my predicted start 11, which I'm going to get into right now. So my predicted start 11 for the game on Saturday evening will be, first up, in goal, Martin Dubravka. Caldalo needs to be dropped now. There's been talk from the Telegraph that Bruce is ready to bring in Martin Dubravka. For me, he's number 1. He is a talker. He commands his area very well. His distribution's great. You can trust him. He can pull off fantastic saves. He doesn't concede daft goals like Caldalo does when you're getting Peter in your post. That can't happen. And for me, I've been saying it for months now that Caldalo should have been dropped. Yes, he's had a fantastic season, but Dubravka is the club's number 1, and Benitez wouldn't have brought Dubravka in if he didn't see the real potential in the lad, and I feel like he's going to be so important to us between now and the rest of the season. At left back, I'm going to go with Jamal Lewis. Now, for me, yes, he's been poor in recent games, but I feel like he needs to really start playing now. He needs to start being the left back that we bought from Norwich. He needs to show that he can get up and down the pitch and he can, create opportunities. He can, he's got pace. We know that he's got pace. We know that he can, really make something happen, on any given day. And without really dropping his confidence, I feel like we need to just keep, trusting that he can, do something in a black and white shirt. I did go for Paul Dummett in the recent game, but I feel like against Wolves, with their pace, I feel like we need to match that, and Jamal Lewis has got that, and he could easily be a match for anyone on the day. But I want to see the true potential of the lad. At right back, I'm going to go with Matt Ritchie. Now, for me, I feel like Kraft needs to be taken out the firing line. He's been poor for ages. He's been making too many mistakes. And if we put in Matt Ritchie, he's going to graft. Matt Ritchie's got pace. He'll definitely get you further up the pitch. And not only that, he'll put in some fantastic tackles for you. He'll put his body on the line. He'll give his all for the shirt. And that's what we need right now. The 2 centre-backs, first up, Captain Jamal Lascelles. For me, he needs to step up. I can't see Steve Bruce dropping him. And for that, he needs to up his game and really start talking and really up his game. He needs to massively improve. He's been poor for the past couple of seasons now. And with the run of fixtures that we've got, he's got to show his leadership qualities. He's got to show that he can still, do his job. And we're going to need that. It's so important because our Premier League status is hanging by a thread, as mentioned before. and we need to see a good performance from the captain. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Federico Fernandez. Now, for me, he's the best centre-back at the club. I do feel bad for dropping Kieran Clark, but I feel like change needs to happen. I trust Federico Fernandez a lot more because he can put his body on the line, he can give his all for the shirt, and you can trust him. And that's what you need in a centre-back. The two CDMs, first up, Isaac Hayden, the best CDM at the club by far. You can do a job, you can get forward, track back, put in challenges, and that's a reason for Isaac Hayden. Alongside him, I'm going to go with Joe Willock. For me, got a bit of pace about him. Had a few iffy moments. He made a few mistakes, but he's only a young lad. He's learning, and the more games we give him, the better he's going to become. He's on loan, so we need to make the most of having this lad in the side. On the left-hand side, I'm going to go with Ryan Fraser. He needs to start games. There's no excuses now from Steve Bruce to be putting him on in the second half when the game's already done. He needs to come in terms of he brings so much pace to our side. He can cut in, he can score goals. We've been missing that in recent games. On the right-hand side, I'm going to go with Alan St-Maximin. Played ever so well against Manchester United, and for that, he needs to stay in the side. He's the best player we've got in terms of creativity, who can cut in. He's got rapid pace, and it's important that he continues where he left off against Manchester United. He scored a goal, so his confidence will be sky high, and we need to match him in terms of who they have, Wolves, Adama Traore. In the cam role, I'm going to go with Miggy Almiron. That's where he plays. He played well against Manchester United. He's got a lot of energy. He likes to get forward, but it's all about the service. If he gets the service and he's allowed to drive forward at any defence, then I feel like he's going to be a real handful. You look at Wolves defensively with Connor Cody's not the quickest. Miggy Almiron could get the best, of that defence. He could easily, make something happen and score a goal. We need goals. It's as simple as that. Up front, I'm going to go with Dwight Gale. Play him in his natural position. This time he's got a player. I just don't understand why Bruce didn't pick him against Manchester United. I don't know what he did wrong against Chelsea because he was played out on the right-hand side. He shouldn't have been. We played Joe Linton. He was toothless, didn't do anything. And I feel like with Dwight Gale, if you give him the service, he'll score goals. It's as simple as that. But the service has to be right. He needs to be in the right position to, put the ball in the back of the net. We need goals. I mentioned that. It's now more than ever important to really, start scoring goals. Otherwise, we're going to go down. It's as simple as that. So that is my predicted starting 11 for the game on Saturday evening. Let me know yours down below in the comment section. In terms of a score prediction, I'm going to go 2-1 Newcastle. We need 3 points. There's no point saying, we're going to draw this game, we're going to lose that game. If we want to stay in this league, we need to start winning games. These next 2 games are crucial. Wolves, West Brom. Funny enough, they're both rivals. But we're at home. Yes, there's no fans, but we need to start stringing results together. And we're very capable on any given day, but we need to do it on a consistent basis. Yes, Wolves are a good side, and I wouldn't be surprised if we come unstuck, but it's now or never. If we come to April and we're still 17th in that relegation zone, then I can't see we're getting out of it. For me, I feel like we're in trouble, so we need to start, playing football and start putting the ball in the back of the net and start claiming 3 points. Otherwise, I think we're doomed. So yeah, that is it for the match preview. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, put your comments down below, follow me on social media, TOON TV, Instagram and Twitter. Let me know your score predictions down below in the comment section. And in the meantime, keep yourself safe out there. How are the lads?